Was Mike Pence pressured?
There's no justifiable basis to conclude that the vice president has that kind of authority.
The January 6th committee takes a closer look. Miami holds its breath.
But Miami is sort of the gateway to South America and the Caribbean as well, so all those soccer fans can come here for a game.
As World Cup host cities are decided. And one last game.
It might be his fourth, but it means so much.
As we reach the end of the NBA season. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Leanne Abutarbouche.
I'm Michelle Morris. Today is Friday, June 17, 2022.
Live from the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
What?
Was Vice President Mike Pence's life in danger on January 6, 2021? Testimony and evidence were presented to make that argument in the latest hearing of the January 6th committee.
The network's Nicole Castañeda is in D.C. this morning.
Here at the Capitol, the selected House committee showed how former President Donald Trump tried to make his Vice President Pence join his scheme to overturn the presidential elections. In the hearing, a former federal judge who advised Mike Pence before January 6, 2021, outlined the stark scenario the country could have faced if the former vice president would have ceded to the pressure former President Donald Trump was putting on him.
Tantamount to a revolution.
Pence's inner circle gave details about the campaign by Trump and his allies, who wrongly insisted Pence had the power to overturn the results of 2020 presidential election during the congressional certification of January 6.
Our review of text, history, and frankly just common sense all confirmed the vice president's first instinct on that point. There is no justifiable basis to conclude that the vice president has that kind of authority.
Witnesses said Trump was told repeatedly that the plan for Pence to overturn the election was unconstitutional. Former Pence Chief of Staff Mark Short said he was concerned enough about Trump turning on Pence that he alerted the Secret Service on January 5th.
I wanted to make sure the head of the Vice President's Secret Service was aware that that likely, as these disagreements became more public, that the president would lash out in some way.
Shortly before Pence appeared at the Capitol for the ceremonial role, he released a letter saying he would not honor Trump's wishes. Pence and his family were forced into hiding when the pro-Trump mob entered the building. Additionally, Congresswoman Liz Cheney said that in the next few days they will be showing evidence on how former President Donald Trump put pressure on the Republican legislation. From Washington, D.C., reporting for the South Florida Media Network, Nicole Castañeda.
Tragic history repeating itself this morning after a deadly shooting at the same moment as senators were working on gun control compromise. It was yesterday evening near Birmingham, Alabama. A gunman opened fire at a church, killing at least 2 people. This comes just a few weeks after the Uvalde school mass shooting. At the same time on Capitol Hill, senators were negotiating the text of gun safety bill. And they missed their self-imposed deadline. Now the community is demanding immediate change.
I think Senator Cornyn thinks what I believe, which is that the American public is not going to accept nothing as an answer.
The Senate is scheduled to come together again next week. Lawmakers will need to come to an agreement to the bill's details in order to place a final vote on gun safety.
Boaters being called heroes this morning after saving a group that flipped over near Tampa. It was a Sunday evening. 11 people were stranded in water when a nearby boat came to the rescue. Good Samaritans pulled people from the water and brought them back safely to land. One person went to the hospital for chest pains and breathing problems.
The Warriors are on top of the sports world this morning after winning their 4th NBA championship in the last 8 years. Golden State was visiting Boston last night for Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Celtics jumped out a 14-2 lead in the early minutes, but Steph Curry and the Warriors took over from there, winning the game 103-90. Curry is your MVP.
This one hits different for sure. Just knowing what the last 3 years have meant, what it's been like from injuries to, changing of the guard and the rosters, Wiggs coming through, our young guys carrying the belief that we could get back to the stage and win.
Even though the game was in Boston, fireworks lit up the sky over the Chase Center in San Francisco in celebration of the big win.
Looking for a different way to celebrate, perhaps a hot tub that's also a boat.
That's still ahead, and so is the story.
Miami is sort of the gateway to South America and the Caribbean as well, so all those soccer fans can come here for a game.
16 cities are selected to host games when the Men's World Cup comes to North America, and Miami is in the running. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
If a natural disaster shows up at your doorstep, you can't just turn it away. That's why it's important to prepare for emergencies before they show up. Go to ready.gov/plan to find the tools and tips you need. And make a plan today.
You really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great news! Miami is one of the cities selected to host the 2026 Men's World Cup Games. Miami was one of the 22 cities across the United States, Canada, and Mexico that has a shot of the hosting.
The announcement was made yesterday, and I was with some of the biggest soccer fans in South Florida when they heard the good news.
We too feel that every institution, whether it's a university, whether it's a business like Fritz and Franz here today, whether it's restaurants, everyone's going to benefit this from the economic impact that it brings to our community, which helps the resident quality of life.
We're here at a watch party in Fritz and Franz Coral Gables. It's an exciting night for Miami as it has just secured a spot in the 2026 World Cup. Loud screams and cheers brim over, and excitement is in the air. Miami has been pushing to bring the World Cup for years now. The soccer committee hosted a record of 11 Super Bowls in the Hard Rock Stadium in South Florida. But this is a bigger opportunity to showcase the rich history and diverse community the city holds. This is significant for Miami, with an economic impact of hundreds of millions of dollars and 800 jobs that could be created. The 2026 World Cup will be the first tournament to be joint hosted by 3 countries, Mexico, Canada, and the United States. There are 22 cities under consideration, with 16 of them in the United States. The FIFA World Cup is considered the most watched sports event in the planet, an event that will put Miami on the world stage.
But Miami is sort of the gateway to South America and the Caribbean as well, so all those soccer fans can come here for a game.
The ultimate luxury item has hit the market. It's called the Spa Cruzy, and it's a combination hot tub boat. The investor lives in Lake Tahoe and wanted a way to enjoy the lake, even during the cold winters. 100% green. It gets its heat from a fireplace and uses solar energy to clean the water. Even the engine is electric. The first line of production has already sold out.
That's all we have. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Leanne Abu Tarbush.
I'm Michelle Morris. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.